here at Fort Myers Beach. It is Saturday, January 27th, 2024. Gosh, a cold front is just making its way right to Fort Myers Beach right now. You can see straight ahead there is rain heading this way, and it's only about 100 yards offshore. In fact, it looks like it's going to hit any second the way it's approaching it. You could hear it. I could hear the rain in the wind. So I don't know how long this video will be. This may be an abortive. I may not even broadcast this. I had to ride my old bike because my the other bike that I was riding had a catastrophic failure on the derailleur, and hadn't had a chance to get that fixed. And to tell you the truth, at this point, I don't even know if I want to get it fixed. The Schwinn bike has made that horrible. I don't know, but this is a plain old giant bike, and it's basic, but it has a nice better derailleur, although it's not shifting right because I haven't been riding it and tuning it every single day. I'm not even on high gear right now. It's terrible. Oh, it's made it even worse. Alright. The tide seems to be at a mid-tide. There's people swimming. This giant bike, though, has a tendency of having the chain jump. That's the bad thing about it. I need to put one of those chain protectors on the topmost big gear, prevent it from potentially jumping off. Shifting. Right. So anyway, I got the cameras kind of like, I had to remount them on this bike, and they're not mounted in the way I would like them configured. Yeah, the rain's only about 100 yards offshore and heading this way, so I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it is a somewhat low tide, maybe 3 feet, not as low as we had the other day. But I must be right in between two rain bands, and I'm just looking out. There's raindrops happening all the time, but because I'm going with the wind, the raindrops may or may not hit the lens, so that's what I'm counting on. I'm looking north right now to the left. I see tons of rain. I'm looking south. I see tons of rain. Look behind me, I can see tons of rain. And even in front of me, I can see rain now moving over the south side of Fort Myers Beach and Lover's Key. Where I am right now is like a hollow. There's no rain. So that's why I have everyone else on the beach. So we'll see how far I can go. Getting little raindrops on my nose. It's making me want to sneeze. Anyway, it's pretty horrible. It was sunny this morning. On my way to the beach, it was sunny, of course, when I get to the beach, the front's here. I looked at radar, and radar showed nothing coming this way. Not even radar. Radar and the composite. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Sorry. I don't see the pirate boat out. It's only about, well, I spent a lot of time configuring the cameras, but maybe about 10:30. I got to the beach here at 10, and I got one of those infamous free parking spots on Estero Island. The infamous ones. I'll show you when I get back. I wasn't turning the camera on because I didn't know how long it would take rain to happen, but since rain hasn't started yet, I decided to turn the cameras on. So I got my 4K camera, which is kind of aiming down a little bit. I don't like that. Of course, I forgot one thing. I forgot the mounting screw that actually positions the camera at a specific elevation. I had to use tape, so the tape is only doing so. My other camera, last week it was recording backwards, so it was recording my midsection for the whole trip. But luckily I was only using that for audio. But I have it on ultra high definition, so I'm hoping that if I get a good video, I might be able to use the camera ultra high definition over the 4K. See, there's a break in the clouds right above us, but all around us I see rain. I see rain now definitely directly ahead of me. I see still rain over Sanibel. Sanibel's getting pummeled. I see rain over the causeway, and I see it over Punta Rasa, and I see it over Iron McGregor. Tons of rain. But where I am is a hollow. In fact, the sun is trying to peek through. It's amazing. Which is perfect, because it's low tide, it's perfect timing. I got a good spot. I need some sun to make this video look nice. Excellent. So the nice thing is that I hear some construction crews working on some of these condos. Not all of them, but the smart ones will have this stuff up and ready. Of course, if they're working on it now, this is still too late. It's like Margaritaville. I mean, they're still working on the darn thing. And but at least they're open for business, taking customers. But I'll tell you what, Margaritaville, though, has been a disappointment in my eyes. I was expecting, and again, it could be a growing thing. I don't know all. I haven't even been on Margaritaville's property. I should stop there today since it got such a nice parking spot. But even these clouds around, it's still beautiful out. It's about 75, maybe a little bit warmer, 76 degrees. And there's a light breeze. Earlier, you could feel the really cold air, but it's being mitigated. So it looks like Pink Shell bought all the property up until Bobwitch Point. So I think they own all of it now, which is awesome. And of course, you know what Pink Shell does. They buy it, they sell, and lease it back. But lease it back with an option to buy back later, or they just reassume possession. So they're like double dipping. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, this bicycle always has a tendency of jumping gears. I think it's because the high gear has a slight little kink in it. It's not perfectly spherical, and it's not perfectly straight. It has a little kink in it. I don't know where that got from, but it probably fell down and hit something. Yeah, in the canals, it looked like a mid-tide, but here on the beach, it's definitely a low tide. So, to me, that means that the tide just quickly went out. Maybe the front that came along here helped in pulling some of that water out. Yeah, so now I can feel a steady mist on my arms. So I know something's falling or something's close. Or maybe it's raining above me and it's evaporating as it gets down to probably it's raining about 20 feet above me heavy, but it's evaporating luckily right before it hits me. So they knocked down all the bathrooms here at Lynn Hall Park. So there's just a big chain link fence surrounding what was the bathrooms. They haven't done anything with the Fort Myers Beach Pier yet, as you can see. It's just a pelican hangout. Like it. So there are some people here just hanging out. I know if they go home, the sun's going to pop out next 20 minutes. The shelling right now is, I'm passing over this tidal area. It looks really nice. And it looks like the beach is growing a little bit now. Because underneath this, or right in front of the old Pier 1, that they have a fence around, which means that there's a construction permit. The beach looks like it's being extended again. It's a good sign. This old bike I have has really good rolling force, so if I stop and let it coast, it coasts. So it's a wider tire. Okay, I can smell that urine again. I don't know where that's coming from. It still stinks. There's not that much seaweed here. There's no dead fish in the water, so it's got to be urine. And I'm telling you, seaweed in the water. Dead fish, oh, that would be atrocious, but that would burn my eyes. It's not really burning my eyes, it's just making them a little irritable, but that's definitely urine. This is dogs peeing on the beach. I know, I got it. Yeah, Margaritaville to me has been a letdown. I would grade it as a 3-star resort. So, you know what? It's good that they're open. Don't get me wrong. It's very exciting for the locals for them to be here. It's like Best Buy opening up for the very first time in Lee County. You know, everyone wanted it. Everyone wanted it. They went there, bought everything, and now Best Buy has had a couple locations. They even closed a couple because they just jacked up their prices, and everyone thought, oh well, we thought we'd get good deals here, but we can still get better deals online. So the online trend now is continuing, and Best Buy shot its own foot. So I'm looking at the pool area of Margaritaville. It's still not open. There is a construction fence. Thank you. Right, so I'm passing by. I'm on the high now. There's a berm. There's a 4-foot high berm there. Again, that does nothing to prevent hurricanes or high floods. Tide looks like it's coming in because of the way what little seaweed or stuff is getting pushed back and bunched up. So it appears tide's coming in. This little hollow I'm in, I'm looking back towards Sanibel. I still can't see Sanibel, so I know it's raining between here and Sanibel. I'm looking towards Fort Myers Beach straight ahead, and that's the south side of Fort Myers Beach. And I know there's rain between me and there because I can see. You can see that haze along the water. That demarcates where it's raining, where it's kind of lightly hazed like that on the water. That's a rain mark. I can look due south. I see no rain, but I see rain clouds. But they're about 20 miles out, probably hitting Naples. And I can look to the southwest. It looks like a clearing, but not where Sanibel is. Sanibel's still got a rain cloud on top of it. So it looks like this is just a big cloud going through. It's not going to produce that much rain. So people are just out walking, which is pretty cool. I thought a great business idea would be to have a beach flea market, but you need to have free parking. That's the thing. You need to have free parking here. I don't know why they don't have free parking. This beach right here is so huge. They should have something. And then the Steve Wynn Resort, where the old Holiday Inn was, in South Fort Myers Beach. That beach there is huge. In fact, you could even have parking on the beach. They should allow that. They should allow parking on the beach till 12 noon in that area because that would really help rebuild South Fort Myers Beach. And there's plenty of parking there. There's plenty of room to have a little daily market on the beach too. Would be awesome. All right, so here's Diamond Head, and they're still working on their restaurant underneath the building, ground floor one. By the looks of the pools, most of the umbrellas are wrapped up. They expect to start. I see 2 people in the water here. I see only 2 people enjoying an umbrella. I see 1 person from Diamond Head, 2 people actually. They picked up a lot of it. I guess they expect that one higher than the high tide, but it doesn't look like it. I'm not sure if they're setting up the chairs or they're putting it in. It looks like they're doing both. They're setting them up and they're putting it back. Again, the beach bicycling is awesome. And this bicycle, believe it or not, the tires on this are bigger, newer, and they have actual gel tire inner tubes. So, and they're definitely pumped at 65 pounds. So, what it's doing right now is just I just wish this bicycle had. It has a front fork, but I had to weld it. I won't go into a long story, but it was leaking. So, steel bike. So I had a steel wire welder. So I welded the hole where the shock absorption fluid was leaking through. I filled it with some brake fluid, but then it started leaking in my car. And I said, oh man, so the caps of these front forks don't fit tight. So I could have put some Teflon tape, but I said, no, I just drain the fluid and put the caps back on, try to seal them, and it'll just be like air shocks, but air shocks don't work that well. So it's almost as if I'm riding a zero suspension bike. I get a little extra suspension, but feel every bump. So that's the only thing. I had a K2 Sidewinder. That suspension was awesome. I just wish it was a 21-inch frame and a 29-inch wheel. That suspension, the K2 Sidewinder, is the best bicycle frame ever for bicycling on the beach. That one, dual suspension, you feel almost nothing, no bumps. But this bike is pretty good. Anyway, enough about bikes. So I'm looking at some of the condos. Surf here, we're looking at 2 to 4 feet. It's pretty choppy inshore. There's probably 3 to 5 offshore, about a mile or two. Still, I haven't felt any significant rain on me, which is good. The Cerro Boulevard, though, is all chewed up. I don't know who designed that road. They lined up against the wall and shot. It's just despicable what they did not foresee. That road, spending $80+ million. I think they spent more like $100+ million on building, and it's destroyed. And it wasn't because of the hurricane. They just built a rotten road with a huge sidewalk on both sides that hardly anybody uses. They could have kept the old road, the asphalt road, which they had laid down for 1/10 of that price, and it was 10 times more wider and 10 times utilized more, and it allowed people to park for free and go to the beach. It's pretty sad that the town of Fort Myers Beach has to ruin your freedom and ruin your pocketbook at the same time to get away with it. And then they don't even take responsibility for the problem that they caused. It's sad. Anyway, I could tell because this front's coming through, because of this wave action, that shelling tonight is going to be awesome. So right now the sandbar, because of these low tide and the big waves, the sandbars are being overturned, and all those big shells are being pushed up into the low tide area here along the beach. When the tide comes in, those shells will be pushed up onto the beach. And it's going to be excellent shelling tonight. Probably in the next 3 hours. I mean, if you want to wade in where the waves are crashing, that's where the best shells are going to be. But it's going to get really good next 2 days. Fort Myers Beach. And probably on Sanibel too. But I haven't been out to Sanibel because, for one, they're not offering free tolls anymore. I used those free tolls at the beginning of the year to go over to Sanibel, or I should say the beginning of last year. That time flies. To go over to Sanibel and check it out. And I'm glad I utilized those days because it's $9 to go over there. I don't care what they say, but it's $9. And Sanibel frequently makes errors, so they take that $9 and they times it by 10. So that's why a lot of locals don't go over that bridge, because they know the Lee County toll is crooked, and they don't want to face that toll. People in Cape Coral, unfortunately, you have to pay that toll, because that's, you're kind of like trapped there in a little prison. But if you're in Lee County, pretty much you don't really go over to Cape Coral, because you don't want to, again, pay that toll. There's Fort Myers Beach, so you don't need to go to Sanibel. And business owners and homeowners in Sanibel are crying rape, because the government over there at Sanibel is raping them. But they could vote to unincorporate, but of course the town would declare war against the citizens, just like the federal government's declaring war against all Americans, and it would be sad. What are you going to do? One person can't make a difference. One person can get arrested by the state, but they can't make a difference. And if it's a deep communist state, it took Soviet Russia, 17 to 92. So it took Soviet Russia, 75 years before the citizens rose up and said, enough with communism. And those communists left Russia and went to Eastern Europe and formed the EU over there, and the EU now is totally communist. So it's sad. Russia's a free country, and Russia sides with MAGA, they side with patriotic Americans, so Russia is a friend to Americans. Not to the globalists and the Democrats that ruin everything and are declare war against Americans, but Russia is a true friend, so it's nice. It's nice to know that. A big country like that. So anyway, this is where the church was, where that big blue, whatever we call it, octagon church, with a big blue roof. Of course, they knocked the church down. And just south of there was what I called the Titanic house, which was, the water got almost 20 feet high. It was splitting the house in half. It looked like the Titanic was being ripped in half and sunk. Of course, that house has been torn down long ago. Just looking here. This house here, nothing has really been made of this house. It's hard to say whether that second floor window is open or not, but nothing has been done on the ground. And I don't see any foundation preparedness or repair, for that matter. So that could be a house. The copper roof was torn off a little bit, but you can see from this angle, if it's still unfixed, then that would be that house would be a play if you wanted to buy an investment. I think the house was made really well. It's got a center column, which appears to be an elevator. So yeah, they haven't fixed the roof. So that house definitely is a play if you want to buy an investment. I'm not sure if the church owns that land or not, but I would look it up, because it's got a perfect real estate location. And, eventually there will be a church here, so back. It's getting light again here. If you look down the beach, you can see it's raining really hard at South Fort Myers Beach right now. So the clouds just jumped over where I was, and then they smashed into South Fort Myers Beach there. And yeah, all that dark haze you see down there, that's heavy rain. I look behind me and it looks like it's raining at the bottom of this point. And we're not going to go much further. I think I'm going to probably turn around right there, because I don't want to, it's a beautiful bike ride, that's for sure. I'm enjoying it. And I have a slight tailwind, so it's kind of nice. It pushes me along a little bit. So coming up on the left-hand side, here's another big continuous piece of property along the beach. It's still available. There was, you're allowed, when you get a building permit from, I'm not sure if they come from Lee County or town of Fort Myers Beach, but it's good for between 6 and 9 months, and then they run out. Most of them run out because the city of Fort Myers Beach puts up so many obstacles in your way. You can't do anything without greasing their palm a million bucks. That's why it's so criminal. There should not be a town of Fort Myers Beach because they did not come to the aid of the citizens whatsoever. They were crying to FEMA for everything, and they did not provide any benefit to the citizens. They actually inhibited the citizens from getting back into their homes and making repairs, and forced the fire marshal onto most citizens and businesses, and even closed a lot of them from that. So definitely you can hear the wind. So I'm bicycling now into that lake. There's only about 1 mile per hour wind, but it sounds more fierce than it is. And yeah, there is a squall line that's hitting. This was the squall that was over Sanibel, so now it's it's still over Sanibel. It's still raining there, but it's being pulled on shore. And as it goes on shore, it's developing more rain. I can see it's raining in South Fort Myers now, big time. It looks like when I get back to, it looks like it's raining at Diamond Head right now. So I have another maybe 100 yards before I got to turn the camera off. Look at that beautiful green water. Still, water temperature is about 72, so it's not like, but it is nice and choppy. You have to have surf walkers on to go out. That sandbar is only about 30 yards off. And the sandbar is only maybe about 8 to 9 inches deep. The tide is slowly creeping in, so this is like deja vu of the bicycle ride I took like 2 weeks ago. I don't know why, but all these fronts seem to be coming by on a weekend. I could have done the beach ride yesterday, but it was warm. I mean, really, it was warm, and I wanted to get some painting done outside. And I was thinking about, going for a bike ride today and then doing painting before the storm got here, because the futurecast showed the rain wasn't going to get here until 1 or 2 o'clock, but they were wrong. About 5 hours wrong. So, strange enough, it looks like the squall line that was right over Diamond Head seems to have lifted and moved on shore. Weird how fast that works. That is weird. Now look south of here, it is black over Lover's Key, South Fort Myers Beach. I have to show all aspects of Fort Myers. I can't show a blue sunny day every single, even though it is blue and sunny every single day. Even this morning, it was sunny and slightly blue out. Early on, like 8 in the morning, it was gorgeous. I've been trying to get ready since 9, but I was compiling my garage selling video this morning, and it's in ultra high definition. I gotta be really careful because I'm using an old software program. It doesn't know what ultra high definition means, so it's trying to compile it on regular high definition MP4, so it's getting confused. So I'm trying to nurse that along, and yeah, it took me almost an hour to get ready this morning. That, I had some laundry going, light cleaning. I was trying to stage the paint, but it's already staged, actually. Alright, so here we're back up at what was Junkaroo and Fresh Catch on the right-hand side. That is the best real estate, if you can get it. They haven't done anything with it, so I know they want to sell it. I know their asking price is ridiculous, but the beach is thin here. That's the only other problem. If the beach was thick, that property would have been bought up already. But the beach is thin, so the fear of further beach erosion, at least the perception, the belief that that could happen, takes some value off the property. And most of these seagulls are not scared of people. They've been out here long enough. They know just to walk out of the way. I still can't see Sanibel, so there is some kind of a squall that's hitting it. That's what happens when you have a convergence zone where sea meets land. There's different temperatures of the water surface, different temperatures of the land surface causes wind. That wind could cause an updraft or a downdraft, depending. And if a heavy cloud moves over it with a downdraft, it'll rain. If it's just an updraft of evaporation, it'll just create a big cloud. Maybe no rain, or maybe rain too. Yeah, there's no urine smell down here, thank God. So a lot of these homes, there's another home over here that's a good value. If you're an investor, you want to buy it. Straight ahead, that white colonial beach home. It's got plywood on the ground floor. You can tell it's just concrete on the ground floor, and it's all wood the rest of the floor. But it's got a nice metal roof. Unfortunately, the roof is galvalume, so it's going to rust eventually in 5 years. But that is a new roof. But they haven't done much to it. So it's one of those homes where, you know, there's still some siding to get done. It probably has some damage inside. All they did was, you know, fix the roof, obviously. Did some minor stuff to keep the home in a preserved state, not necessarily fixed state, but preserve it, and until they decide what to do with it. Because the price of the real estate on the Gulf here is like, you know, you can probably get $2 million for it. The problem is that there's a lot of real estate for sale, both on Sanibel and here. And Sanibel actually is there's more value on Sanibel because most of the beachfront property on West Gulf Drive and all those drives leading towards Captiva were all devastated. Captiva, not so much, because they're elevated almost like 12 feet, and most of the homes are made like, you know, $10 million homes, so they weathered it pretty well. Most of them are at least 15 feet above mean high tide. I mean, any ground floor structures got devastated, but the structures themselves are made to withstand that. But Sanibel, because you're dealing with an older area that was built in the 1970s early, the contractors who built those homes had only fleeting recollections of what Hurricane Donald was all about. So they didn't, and there was no real building codes then, so the contractors were just building, Cracker Jack homes. Oh, this is nice. Hello. Definitely tide is inching in, because when I came down here, I was bicycling where the waves are. So the tide has come in. It's come up about 6 inches. And you can see there's more and more seaweed being bunched up, so that's a sign the tide's coming in. Eventually the seaweed will be pushed all the way to the high tide, and then the seagulls and ants and everything else will start chewing on it. And the sun, given a good 12 hours without water, the sun will turn that seaweed into dust. Because it will be sand blasted by the hot wind when the sun is out, and the sun itself will dry it out. So it will almost like fall apart into topsoil. There's another house that Someone's doing work on it, but straight ahead, looks like they're scraping off some of the old paint, and then they're painting. That's a value, and the property next to it, that hotel, that Neptune Inn, that is a really good deal. That sells because with the cost of renovating things, that property is still about 80% there. True, you have a lot of rewiring to do, carpeting, obviously drywall, but the structure itself, the first and second floor is made out of concrete or concrete block stucco. So it's got potential. I see a lot of steel there too. I see one steel post removed, but that's minor. Steel is cheap right now. Steel and wood both are cheap right now as a commodity to buy. Alright, so the clouds, luckily the clouds have parted a little bit, so if I swing back this way, you're not going to get any rain, thank goodness. So it's another good sign. I didn't put any sunblock on. I had a chance to put sunblock on. I said, nope, it's going to rain. And this morning at 8 o'clock, it was really sunny. And I was like, oh, I brought 2 bottles of sunblock with me. But when I got to Fort Myers Beach, I got I didn't mount my cameras correctly. I'm like, oh, great. So I had to mount the cameras. And then, of course, discovering that a couple raindrops hit me, I was like, ah, maybe no beach biking. I passed him by. My Diamond Head again. Their chairs are a little close to the water line. They need to bring them back about 20 yards. Unless they know exactly where high tide mark is. The nice thing about Diamond Head is that they have a really big bulge in the beach that goes out. So, and they have a berm. So they're the best protected hotel. They have 2 breaks in the berm though, which whatever. But the berm ain't gonna do anything. It'll save them for about 5 seconds on a wave. A wave that high, will take that berm out in 5 seconds. All right, we're coming back to Lanakai. Lanakai was the original hotel here. You had a couple other Best Westerns and Ramadas that back in the mid-'80s were vying for top spot. The Lanakai was one of them. It was the biggest, but it was one of them. And then one by one, those other big hotels. I'm not sure if Hurricane Keith in '87, there was some hurricanes that came through here. One by one, those other hotels closed. And then eventually got bulldozed. Of course, the Best Western Plus still out. So I'd hate to pay $25 or $20 to park with the threat of rain like this. On the same token, you got pretty much the beach to yourself. Felt one raindrop on the shoulder. So we'll come back on the road. I'm only going to go down to Kiostero Shopping Center just to check it out. I want to check out Kiostero and actually the old goods place right next to it. That's the only reason. I want to take a look and see if it's worth an investment opportunity. Lanakai, they're still working on the ground floor. They're still working on their first floor too. And I can see in the windows on the second floor, they still have a lot of furniture on the second floor, but the third floor, fourth floor, and fifth floor are rented. So I guess just the overflow goes into the first. See, some of the rooms are finished. And the second floor. And the ground floor, they're making it so that they can rent out some of them too. Just like the Best Western Plus has its ground floor renovated so they can rent that out like hotel rooms. So it looks like, I don't know who owns these, but they're putting their tables away. Orange. I would think that a hotel is going to be built here because it has all the, I mean, it's right across the street from 7-Eleven. You can't get a better location. So Margaritaville, I don't see the pool open. The bar is open though. The beach bar near the pool is open. That's amazing. I see a couple patrons there. And then the La Di Da beach bar, that's open too. Margaritaville. Margaritaville seems to be the most happening place though. They're probably paying the most to stay here. I'm not sure if all the rooms are suites or not, but I wouldn't doubt it. They had enough time, enough insurance money to fix it up. Some people are going out to the sandbar. I know. There's a lot of shells out there. Without surf walkers, I'd be really reluctant to walk out there right now because the 2 to 4 foot waves right now onshore, it just causes enough seashells to bubble up and tumble on the top of the sand, both live and dead, especially here at low tide. And you can see that the sandbar is not exposed anymore, so tide is definitely coming in. When we came by here earlier, where that woman is out there in the water, that needs to be dry. So definitely the tide's come up 6 inches, if not up. It's bordering on a foot by now. Alright. I'm going to go all the way back down to Balbridge Point. We're going to extend over here. There are more people out there. I'd say there's about at least 50 people camped out. More like 100 people. Lynn Hall Park was only half full when I left with the bicycle on the ground. Now it seems to be almost totally full. So, I'll go this way, get on the road. I have to show you my parking spot. I'm so proud of it. So that's the sad thing that they charge for parking here. They shouldn't. Ridiculous. So the parking, I hope I don't get a ticket either. So I got straight ahead, but you can't see the car because it's blocked by a tree. Hold on. it leveled this entire hotel that was here. Obviously, they're gonna build something else. So this is my parking spot right there, straight ahead. There's my car. See, these parking spots all here, they're not really free per se. The property right there owns them. But because the property right there owns them, and that property has not blocked access to these spots, we can park here for free. See, and this is 7-Eleven right here. And this is the 7-Eleven property. They haven't built it yet, but that's what makes this property so valuable. It's right near Lynn Hall Park. It's got a little, it's on the water too. There's a little, whatchamacallit, little bay back there, a canal that forms a little wide kind of like inlet circle there. And so you can get to it by boat. You can get to Lynn Hall Park, the free beach facilities. 7-Eleven's right here. It's an ideal spot. It's worth more. I would have bought the original building if the people selling the property weren't so far-fetched in their price. And I think the renovations that they did to the property look pretty good. For them to knock it down and go rebuild something, they must have got it either for a foreclosed amount or they have something big in mind. And you see, this property also on the left-hand side does not have, well, I take it back. It did have a little burlap fence around it. It doesn't, the burlap fence seems to have collapsed. But it's ready to be developed as well. It's got the same advantage. So close to 7-Eleven, so close to Times Square, close to Lynn Hall Park, close to getting off the island. It's got a lot of attributes that people want when they come to Fort Myers Beach. They don't want to fight the traffic getting off the island. And this side of Cerro Island doesn't have a problem getting off the island. Birds are using the surf style on this side of the road as a place to live. So they're roosting up in the duckwood, which is pretty sad. So again, you had the Fudgery got wiped out right here on the left-hand side. Palaka straight ahead. Now it's being sold. Obviously, they had no insurance, but the property itself is probably still worth $1 million or so. So the problem is that now you're subject to the FEMA that's been destroyed more than 50%. So they're going to hit you with this corruption. They're going to try to raise the property to almost between 12 and 15 feet. So it means you have to raise your structure so high off the ground. That's why all these properties will be bought out by one. So that Seafarers Mall, you remember that one? That one had that same problem. They went out of business because they were raised so far off the ground. And the thing is that they're still going to allow push carts to operate on the ground. So whoever buys a push cart is going to get that advantage, and the people who own the property are not going to get it. They'll be renting to the push cart, but the push cart will make the money, and that will just cannibalize the money going to the all the properties that have to be 15 feet above mean-high tide. So as a business, idea, venture, you want to get in the mobile home / push cart business here on Fort Myers Beach. Being mobile and having the ability to circumvent the silly and nonsensical zoning laws, which only hurt people. The government lines their pocket full of money. It does the public absolutely no good. So there's a sign there that says no bicycles. The pool looks beautiful. So now we have police directing traffic here. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, so there is people in the pool here. Wow. So this pool is gorgeous. and there's only 2 people in the pool. Wow. The pool is definitely better than the Hard Rock Cafe or Hard Rock Hotel pool up in Orlando. This pool is definitely better. Although it's sad that they didn't raise the pool another 3 or 4 more feet. See, right now this pool is susceptible to just very high tides, and that's going to pose to be extremely problematic. Every single time there's an extreme 6-foot high tide, it's going to pull all that sand and that salt water is going to roll right into that pool and cause a couple $100,000 damage. So again, 7-Eleven hasn't opened up. I don't know what they're waiting on, but I guess Fort Myers Beach is giving them, so many problems with their building permit. Personally, if you had a business, you should have the right to restore that business into a viable business condition for your livelihood. You shouldn't be obstructed by any laws. That's an obstruction on your right to work. Thank you. So all this FEMA rule and everything else, it's really an obstruction for people to work and live. So that's an attack again by FEMA on the people of America. You shouldn't have those rules. Just tell them you have no insurance. That's all. You have no insurance, but you can build whatever you want. And people say, okay, that's all I need. I'll build a shack, whatever. And as long as I can get my livelihood back in order, that's what counts. What they're doing is basically limiting Fort Myers Beach to just the people that are filthy rich. And that's how it was before the hurricane. People get into trouble because Fort Myers Beach was so criminal. But then you always have a millionaire walk around willing to shell out millions, and they bail everybody out. They bail out the city from its criminality. They bail out the distressed homeowner because the city is attacking them, and to give money to at least say, okay, whatever, All right, so this is as far as I want to go. I won't go any further. So it looks like Mojo's is open. And then here's a Sunsport. I came to realize that people stay in Fort Myers Beach. They stay Sunday to Saturday. So Saturday they're leaving, so they're not renting anything. Sunday they're arriving, and they may not rent Sunday, but they're definitely rent on Monday. So this sun and fun sport rentals, Saturday and Sunday are their quiet days, but Monday through Friday they're busy. Monday they're renting, and Friday they're returning. He's got 2 umbrellas there. And 1 person. And it seems to be growing ever bigger, so the guy must be making money. But there's definitely room for competition across the street. You might as well have all the competition in a row. All ducks in a row, as they say. If people perceive that to be an area where they rent stuff, you might as well put competition right next to it. That's it. I don't want to go any further. You got Tri-Power Realty. I want to buy that building, but they won't rent this building. Again, they want, I don't know how many millions of dollars. It looks like you have somebody there taking a picture, like he's a realtor. He's taking pictures of the roof rot. That roof has got to be ripped off. There's no way you can save that. There's no way an inspector will grant. And he's looking at me right now like he's confused. But there's absolutely no way a building inspector would let that roof go without it being torn off and redone. And that is a metal roof, so it's going to be pricey. You're exactly right. So here's Sun and Fun again. The property just behind Sun and Fun is available. And here's the property on the left-hand side, just to the north of Diamond Head. Diamond Head should buy this. They can put a Diamond Head, with the amount of property that they have here, they can put 2 Diamond Heads here. That's how big this property is. And then right to the left again is that house on the water that used to have a big porch. It used to be Party Central, especially during spring break. Now, it's just a house that needs to be knocked down. This whole block here needs to be knocked down. The goods over there, that needs to be knocked down. It's in a good location though. but it needs to get knocked down. Definitely, the whole structure is compromised. You see, you need at least one more resort to open up. This Kia Shopping Center, it would be the key. It survived. You know, they're still working on the roof. I can see that, but at least they're working on the roof and not letting the roof get destroyed. They put in glass doors that keeps out the bums. They're working on the roof. It's probably a never-ending struggle to keep the bums off the property. And then their property itself is raised 3 feet above the ground. The bums probably sleep underneath Kia. That's another problem. It would be nice to pump sand underneath that and to make it prevent any wild animals like human bums from living under there. But I like it because it was made out of steel and concrete, the whole building. So it would make a great casino. The casino I was thinking about would be great on the second floor, but you know, when I'm looking at it, it doesn't matter really. The casino could be on the first floor and the rooms renting on the second floor, or vice versa. The key is you want people walking up into the casino, but on the same token, you know, it would be nice to have a casino on both floors. Why not? The more casino, the merrier. You know, you have you could have the poker on the second floor, and then the tables and the slot machines on the first floor. You have the restaurants and the bathrooms on the second floor. The people have to walk up into it. The property alone is worth it. I mean, I don't know how much they're trying to sell the property for, whether 12 million or somewhere around there. It's somewhere between 8 million and 12 million. It's a good value. I just don't know how to turn that value, all that money, all that interest payments at a high interest rate right now, into some kind of profitable cash flow. I personally don't know that answer. If I had the answer, what? If I had some investors, it would allay me a little bit. It's easy to spend other people's money. It's a common occurrence. Coming up there somewhere, but this car is making a giant mistake here. It's Land of Lincoln, you know. Tuna Skin did a great job getting their place renovated. I like how they did what they did on the second floor. New banisters, new black banisters. Everything they did is just totally awesome. They made it into suites too. So it was smaller units. I think they took 8 units and sliced them down to 6. It's still pretty nice. And being on the beach, you can get a minimum $4,000 a month, minimum, more like $6,000. The problem is that, you know, thank goodness Publix is open. So those people that do live on the beach, they have that option. We're back here at this is the center of attraction right now. The Salty Rim Bar. Gorgeous pool. Gorgeous. So the police are doing their best here. So I can feel some cool air come in. So the front is passing through, if it hasn't passed through already. I still see a squall line up by the Santa Barbara Causeway. So there still is some hit and miss rain. It's sad because we actually need the rain. It's not really raining. So people are exploring Margaritaville. They're just going up there to explore it. I don't blame them. I do it too. Yeah, I just felt a raindrop. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. Well, I hope you guys liked the video. Again, I can't park on those other parking spots behind Lighthouse Resort because Lee County made them pay parking now, which is sad. Or not Lee County, but Fort Myers Beach made them pay parking. They're both criminally in on it. If Lee County was smart, they would allow free parking. If Sanibel was smart, they would allow free bridge tolls, but they're not. They're addicted to crack cocaine. And Sanibel being addicted to crack cocaine, they want to F their citizens as much as they can. I was working for Lee County tax collector, and okay, I do see the pirate boat straight ahead. Look, it's out. It's coming kind of close to shore. But when I was working for Lee County tax collector, I only worked there for about 6 months. And those are criminals too. The city of Cape Coral said, "How can we get more taxes out of our citizens?" And the answer is, well, if you enact taxes, the Lee County tax collector will collect them for you. They're like, "Oh, great! We're going to enact so many more new taxes." So they don't care about their citizens. They just want to tax them to death. Which is sad because protect and what's it? Protect and serve? No, it's protect and serve themselves. They left that pronoun off. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to ex-nay the island. So Teslas are very quiet. Very quiet, and they saw me too, which is amazing. Alright. Well, hopefully next weekend will be sunny, and if the gas dips below $3 a gallon, I'm heading over to another area. This weekend I had an electrician stop by, but anyway, until next weekend, ciao.